Hello YouTube Nation, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads. Just giving you a little intro on this video you're about to watch. Went to the garage earlier today, and I'll tell you on here, I didn't have my camera, I had my phone, so I had to segment the videos and stitch them together. But I started getting the Trans Am ready as far as pulling the radiator, the fan shroud, getting all the electric bundled up so we can pull the motor and transmission. The front clip is actually going to be coming off, the fenders, the core support, and bumper cover, because regardless of what motor goes in it, right now we're thinking it's going to be the LS, because we're supposed to pick up a 4.8 and 4L60E transmission next week, which will be the driveline for the car. If that falls through, we're going to put the 383 in there with the current turbo 350 transmission that's in there. Only difference with that is it's the BOP, or Buick Olds Pontiac bell housing pattern. So we have an adapter plate that we put in there between the bell housing and the motor, the 383, and actually have them bolt up. We are very much still hoping that it's going to be the 4.8 with the 4L60E. In the video, I'll mention some of our other projects. I figure I'll give you a rundown on them all right now. The Trans Am you're about to see. Tommy's been working on the 1959 Apache with the 5.3 in it. He's pulled the 4L60E out of that. He's going to be rebuilding it. He's tracking down an electrical issue that's causing his number 2 cylinder to pop. Hopefully we get that figured out shortly. And he's continuing on with his body work. Once he gets done rebuilding the 4L60E, we'll end up getting that transmission back up, taking a measurement for the drive shaft, and hopefully we'll be able to actually get that thing moving on its own power. Still with body work, it's going to be a driving work in progress. The Octa-rango, I was over George's last week sometime, and well, when I shot the video of the turbo diesel that we were getting running again, and we have plans on getting the Octa-rango over onto the concrete slab. That way we can actually start to work on it, get a jack under it, and do what we have to do underneath of it. Junior's Olds Rocket powered 350, the Olds Rocket 350 powered S10. He's at a standstill on that right now. He's got the exhaust done. He's got the tailgate on. He's got the roll pan in. He is looking for some pieces. He needs the pigtails for the for the lights in the rear, the harness that runs from the pigtail in the frame up to the rear bumper, and it splits off to the brake lights and the bed lights. Juniors, okay, the Trans Am I already told you about. And somewhere between the 12th and 16th of September, I should be actually getting some footage of reinstalling a 4.0 in a friend of mine's Jeep, a very good friend of mine. It's actually who I got my Trans Am from, and he owns the white 77 Trans Am that I have a prior video, or a prior collage of pictures and a couple short video clips uploaded on here. Other than that, that's what we have set right now. I'm sure my S10, it just says that it's a 94 with a 94 350 in it. It's out. We've got the roll pan on that. I'm probably going to end up doing a front end conversion on it as far as the grill, and doing the 2003. We're looking to try to do the extreme grill on it, which will entail us actually pulling out the core support and the grill on that truck, and then putting on a actual core radiator support and grill off for 2003. And like I said, in this video, it's just me getting stuff ready for the Trans Am so we can go ahead and pull the motor and trans out. And like I said, even if we end up going with the 383, if the 4.8, the LS setup falls through, we still want to pull the transmission out also, because like I say in this video, it's 42 years old. It probably needs to be rebuilt. And that way, if we have to use that driveline, a 383 and a turbo 350, we know what state everything's in. like you hear me say in the video here shortly, that I don't feel confident to drive the car, but the only questionable things in the car are the motor and the transmission. So we're going to resolve that issue regardless. So go ahead and watch the video we have for you. Always reiterate, go ahead and subscribe, like, let us know what you think. Shoot us some suggestions you have, if you have any for any of our current projects. And also if you have any questions. If you have any questions for any of our projects, just on the video, whichever video it is you're watching, just go ahead and hit us up and send us a message. We're more than happy to give you information. And you'll hear me later say, you know, don't try some of the tactics or techniques we use while we're doing these vehicles. I don't highly suggest, I say do not, unless you know it's the proper way. Sometimes we'll temporarily get something working long enough to drive it out of the garage, down an alley, and back in the garage. So unless you know that it's an actual legitimate fix or whatever you're doing, make sure that way you're not out on the road being unsafe. We definitely wouldn't like that to happen. Like I said, in my older age, I try to make sure I fix it right when I'm doing it. That way I can get down the road, because as I mentioned in the video, I don't want to find myself trying to push one of these vehicles. So go ahead and watch. Let us know what you think, and thanks for watching. Hello YouTube Nation, this is Ron from RTR Gearheads. We haven't done an update on the Trans Am for quite some time. We're waiting to get a actual driveline for it. Supposedly we are picking up an LS 4.8 and 4L60E from an 03 Silverado, hopefully this coming week. So what I'm going to do is start to actually tear everything down, because we know the motor trans does have to come out. I'm also going to get the radiator, the shroud, battery obviously, and start cleaning up the wires. For right now, I'll probably end the day off with actually getting the hood off. Wifey might stop by since Junior's at work and Tommy's over at his house right now, working on the 59 Apache. So bear with me for a few minutes and I will go ahead and get some tools out and start breaking everything down. Again, that's an update on the 1980 Trans Am. It is going to go LS for a short period. It's been over a month that we've been trying to find a driveline for it, so we finally confirmed one, supposedly pick up next week. I was going to just throw the 383 stroker in here with the VOP Turbo 350 with an adapter plate. And we're just going to do the whole driveline. So bear with me, I'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll start getting into this. Okay, so I'm back. The first thing I'm going to do is start to get this radiator shroud off, and then I'll get underneath, pull the petcock for the coolant, start to drain that. It's going to be segmented because I apologize today, I don't have my camera. Didn't know how much I was going to do when I came over here today, so I'm using my phone to film, so bear with me and go ahead and start this. Junior has his tool, his little toolbox with him, so I gotta use my air. Taking this down. here. I have a feeling this is going to be how it goes. Got two bolts on the bottom to screw out also. Take the creeper and get under here and attempt to get these two out real quick. I hate this paint. Every time I lean on anything, it cracks. This whole core support is bent up. So when we're doing the swap, we're actually end up pulling this core support and replacing it. While we have a part, we might as well, right? I didn't tell you guys, when my father retired from the shop, he actually left me one of his toolboxes with some of his tools in it. I still haven't been able to go through all the tools and see what actually is there and isn't, and organize them. So when it comes to a pinch, I don't like it, but I'll go in the junior box and grab what I need temporarily. Should be it. Pull back out. Once I get this out, I'll have better access to radiator petcock, radiator drain. Be able to drain this thing down. With this car, everything's a battle. Sorry for the noise, I had to have a fan in here today. We'll get to it this way. A little tight. too tight. My hands. Alright, let me get the shroud out and be back with you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, so I ended up pulling the fan shroud out to get better access to this coolant drain. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that right now. There's a fan under there, so what if I catch? Find out shortly, huh? Whoops. He's washed anyway. Alright, well I've got the coolant drain. Go ahead and pull the top hose off. Wait for the bottom hose. Both seconds. Actually, no, not both seconds. Let's take this, twist it to where it's just over the motor. So, don't have to worry about leaking everywhere. Alright, we'll let this drain. It's done draining in a couple minutes. I'll be back with you guys and we'll go ahead and pull the radiator out. Start messing with everything else as far as getting the wires unhooked. Before we actually pull it, I always have to jack it up so I can get everything underneath, but before we actually pull it, probably going to drain the oil also, just to make it lighter. It's sad because all that antifreeze coming out, it's a new antifreeze, so clean the drain pan real nice before we use it, and maybe we'll be able to reuse it. If not, I've still got a couple gallons of antifreeze, so see you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, welcome back. I've got the drain pan over here, got the lower hose off already. And now I'm taking the trans lines out and blocking them off. That way when I pull it out, it's not too crazy on leaking. And then I'll get the radiator out. These are brand new trans lines also. Helps me radiator too. The radiator I have from 4-quarter, I'm actually going to end up using in the swap. Hopefully if I can. So when we get the front off, strong feeling. Of course, I'm going to get a new
radiator support also, of course it would. Because from being under here, Tommy and myself, and Junior, realized through the ownership of cars here, the person I got it from never drove it. But the series after that I can't speak for. And it seems, stuff like running up on parking bump stops and stuff like that. Seems like it might have played a toll. And of course, it was extremely bent up. Trying to save on the coolant, but it's not happening now because it's fitting my transfer oil just fell in there. So once I get this out, all of these transfer from drain pans to the gallon jugs that I have here. So I can take it and actually properly dispose of it. You know, I busted our butts because it was the antifreeze from the overflow. There's aftermarket overflow. That wasn't the cause of it. A whole bunch of things that contributed to the cause of it. Alright, when it gets lock this off, train's on. We should be able to pull the radiator off. Now, going with the LS swap, if you guys saw my videos prior, this thing was fuel injected, got back from deployment when it started, fuel went everywhere. I, in my infinite wisdom and throwing a hissy fit, took off the fuel injection from the El Camino now, after replacing the O-rings, but the carburetor back on it, just so it was mobile. But the fuel tanks, so I had the fuel injection out of the E5 tank. It's in storage now. And I actually have a normal carburetor tank in there, brand new. Like this radiator, it'll go into storage for a possible future project. And what I'm going to do now is get this drain pan out. I'm going to lift the rad up and drain it out the rest of the way. Keep in mind, I had more issues with my left arm, so they're scheduling an MRI now. Try to find out. They said I have deteriorated discs in my spine, C5 through C7. So they're going to see if they want to do surgery or not. I can use my left arm, it just hurts really bad, either during or after. So I use it limited. This radiator is about to be very painful for me, but because if I put the majority of the weight on my right arm, I'm good. Left arm, not so much. So let me get the tools up here and bear with me. Get the tools up. Go ahead and get the radiator out. Let that drain the rest of the way. Flashlights. And everything's unhooked. Do is cap on. Right, and that is the radiator. Just set this aside. Just try to put it somewhere where it won't get damaged. Right now I think I'm going to set it over here on back of the thing.
give you guys an overview real quick. Okay, we do have the radiator out, trans lines are off, fan is off. Next is going to be getting the wiring off and cleaning it up to prep it. There's only really 3 wires that have to come from the chassis harness if I use the stock LS harness and underhood panel, fuse panel to get it to run. But I still want to clean up the rest of the wiring. This is a 1980, so that's 42 years old. I might, no, I'm gonna end up depending on what I don't need out of the firewall harness that goes to the fuse panel. And that way it's gonna be a lot nicer. Now if you look, see if I get this flashlight real quick. You guys can see how bent up it is in here. The whole thing wouldn't even fit the stock radiator in there. We had to make provisions to get it in there. So, alright, that's what I have for right now. I'm gonna take a break for a couple minutes. Might have wifey come by and help me actually pop the hood off and put it on the roof, on top of the cover. That way, when it gets to the point of pulling, we're probably gonna pull the front clip, like I said, to get nice easy, because the nose and the engine hoist, thanks to the Pontiac Peak, the ram for the engine hoist hits right on the corner, right on the middle of the peak. So we'll end up pulling the fenders. I'm going to try to pull the fenders and the front bumper cover all in one piece, be it with the core support or without, because like I said, I have a feeling we're going to end up replacing the core support anyway. But I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and get some fluids in me, hydrate, and I will be back with you guys in a couple minutes. I got a little antsy and forgot to record. What I ended up doing is, on this F-body Firebird, behind the brake booster is a plug, the GM plug that goes through the firewall to the fuse panel. It actually splits into 2 harnesses. I pulled it through, separated them, got everything pulled up. Down here I have the light harness, cruise control harness, which we won't be using cruise control, and stuff like the brake light. And then on the motor, I actually have the whole motor harness. And when I was talking about splitting apart, so if you look at this connector here, which actually looks like this going through your firewall, there's another one right next to it. When you get this bolt out, you end up taking and popping here, and that slides out. It's another one like this, but it's just pretty much your body, your lighting harness. It also, like I said, it's considered the lighting harness, but there's also stuff for the cruise control in there. Your brake fluid indicator that plugs up to the master cylinders in there. And then over here, all of this jumbo wire that I got out of the way right now, you can tell is actually for the heat control or climate control. That actually comes through the firewall and is its own separate harness. So I'll end up going through that. We're not going to run AC on the LS. This was an AC car. I'm debating it. We'll get the LS in first, get it fired up, get it going, and then figure if we want to get the AC compressor relocator kit and put it up at the top of the LS. That way we can actually have AC. Should have some more video coming out on Tom's 59 Apache. Junior's still working on his LS, well, his old S10. As you see, it's not here in the garage. Got his bike and my Harley. There's his little pride and joy back there, a project he's had for quite a few years, and ran it, and once upon a time a nice mass transit bus decided to collide with him, and him and a friend of ours actually got a donor car and fixed the car. Everybody thought it was total, but we actually fixed the car. He's a professional certified welder, the individual that did it. So, and then again, here's the Trans Am. We should have more coming on the Octa-rango shortly also. Just had to help George with the wiring harness. I shot you a little video of the F350 turbo diesel. It's running now. It's starting a little better. Glow plugs are going out, but the task was complete. He's got 2 more motors sitting inside if he wants to replace the glow plugs. Again, this is Ron from RTR Gearheads. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think. Give us what your opinions are. Like I said, we were going to do the 383 in here, but just for me, I'd rather have the LS. It's like swapping a small block Chevy nowadays. There's kits made for all of them. So I just think having a modern overdrive transmission, the computer controlled systems, will make the car just a lot more dependable. I don't feel comfortable or safe hopping in it now and not fearing that it might stop, break down, or whatever. Especially with me, again, like I said earlier, with my one arm, my dumbass would actually try to push the car, and that probably wouldn't be a good thing because it would create more injury. I'll keep you guys up to date on that also. Also want to send a shout out to Tommy because he is officially out of the Army. He is officially retired. He's got a little side gig he's probably going to pick up working on some classic cars. We're still going to have him. He's still going to be part of RTR Gearheads. So we have to see what his schedule is. And like I said, we're going to get some more content up for all the projects. And hopefully you guys will subscribe. We're at 115 subscribers right now. Really trying to raise the subscriber number. That way we can actually have YouTube monetize us and let us know that we're doing something right with the channel. First year I told Junior if we didn't have 100 subscribers, I was going to stop the content because obviously not enough people were interested in watching the videos. A couple friends of mine, around your videos are educational. A lot of people with the economy right now don't have the time to put extra funds, don't have the ability to put extra funds into projects. It's understandable. I'm just hoping that the subscription number goes up because with Tommy already retiring and me retiring, I'm hoping to actually find something to keep us busy that, you know, keeps us out of any financial issues, but also gives everybody something to learn from. Revs from Restoration says it best, you know, the tactics we use here are for ours. Maybe you can glean some ideas from what we do, but if you see us doing something totally crazy on here, I wouldn't recommend trying it. We do just to see what happens. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. This is Ron from RTR Gearheads, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you like some of the progress right now. I think my wife's actually gonna stop out here shortly and help me at least get the hood off. No need to yet, but I'm gonna put the cover back down on the Trans Am. Put the cover back on it once we get the hood off, and then actually set the hood on top of the roof. That way it's out of the way, but the engine bay area is covered up. And that way when I come back, you know, once I actually get a chance to get back here, be it tomorrow or whenever, I can get it up in the air a little bit and maybe start getting some of the stuff underneath unplugged and getting it ready. Once we actually pick up the motor and transmission, then I'm going to start ordering specific swap parts for it, like the motor mounts and the headers and the more shallow oil pan, because with the F bodies, the 4.8s and 5.3s have a deeper oil pan. So we're going to actually have to change that out in order to keep clearance with the steering and suspension and the cross member and the Trans Am. Again, Ron from RTR Gearheads. Hopefully you guys like what you watched.
Hit subscribe. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back with more content soon. Thanks again.